I want to look at this to show y'all how bad this controversy is getting. I'm gonna react to this as well. We're gonna react to one of my favorite.
Largely negative reviews from. Hey, what's up, guys?
Red says
Desu. Once again, talking about Dragon Age: The Veilguard. With only a few days left to its official release, some review codes have been going out, and people have been leaving their reviews of this game. However, there seems to be a huge disconnect between the largely negative reviews from gamers and YouTubers versus the largely positive reviews left by the traditional media outlets. And a lot of people are now
I don't know why you're surprised. I'm tired of this being even mentioned. Not one of the new... You don't want to play with me, Mom? But, like, not one of the new, Not one of these, like, companies, these, like, review sites has spewed something interesting and unique for the past, like, 5-6 years. I don't, like, understand why anyone's even commenting on anymore. They just should say, the paid shills.
Starting to speculate that these review codes are being gatekept by EA.
But I guess you gotta, like, specify
in an attempt to make sure that all of these reviews are positive to make people think this is a 10 out of 10 game. So
it's not. If it was a 10 out of 10 game, they wouldn't even need to pay these people to review it. Like, decently. Consume the water.
Go out and purchase it. Now, they might be gatekeeping those codes, but I'm not going to gatekeep you from an amazing new merch drop right here with Advanced GG. 1 minute here. Let's see the new Spooky Shop. This is a drop I did alongside my wife, Darling Straub, who's also a VTuber. If you want to go crazy and get the huge bundle featuring all of our new items and artwork today. So, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, as I mentioned,
obviously go check out
very
other
positive reviews in the traditional media
stuff,
outlets. You can see
if
all
you want.
the 10 out of 10 ratings,
well,
some
I'm
9
trying
out of
to
10s. You would think this is a potential Game of the Year candidate.
Get to the story.
The reviews of this game are much more positive than Black Myth Wukong,
which is bombastically stupid. Like, are you like, it's like they're not even trying to hide it. Like, all the bad stuff that's come out, and they're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna totally rate this over Black Myth Wukong, which we were, like, called out for rating too low. Are you trying to, like, sneak it by people? Because, like, there's only so many things you can sneak by someone with low intelligence. Because even people with low intelligence are going to start being like, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. This is one of the things. Like, there ain't no way this game's better than Wukong.
for example. But if you start looking at some of the reviews themselves and what they're saying, you start scratching your head a bit. So here's IGN, right? They gave this game a 9, right? This is higher than Black Myth.
And I love their statement here of, if we never get another Dragon Age, at least it got to go out on a high note. You know it's not gonna be the last one. Unless someone's able to get the rights to it. Which, I kid you not, I've thought about this. If I had the money, I would like totally go to some of these companies and buy these franchises out. Dragon Age, Onimusha from, I think it's Capcom still. Because they're not using them, and then when they do use them, they just do terrible, like, crappy work. Like, I'd buy them at super low prices just to sell them for almost nothing to companies I know would do a good job. Like Larian Studios, I'd sell Dragon Age 2 for like $10. And like a request to like put my name for like the credits and stuff. That's all I'd want. You're like, let them know who gave it to you. Let them know. Nope. No what microtransactions. Hell no. I would ask for one thing and one thing alone, and that's literally just put my name in the credits or put me in as a character. That's it. That's not a hard ad. I could be a one-off character. You can make me a story character. I don't care. Gatekeeping in itself was what I don't understand why people don't understand is there's a reason why I'm okay with gatekeeping to an extent. To an extent, gatekeeping was keeping the people like this out of gaming. They were keeping the people that weren't actually there for games out of them. But then we started bashing those people because they were being too mean. And look where it got us. Look where it got us. Gaming is at its lowest low almost in like the big company games because we let people just push their way in. To give you an idea, no one's gonna get the new D&D book. I don't care that it has some like nice buffs and stuff. Guess what? You know the great thing about DMs is they can pick and choose what they use. So we could just take some of the nice stuff you added and just like rehash it a little bit and bam. No one's going to the new D&D. We are not going to digital D&D. D&D is a community thing. It is not your corporate overlord thing. Like, the people that created the first D&D look at you like you're crazy. They're like, why are you doing this?
That game. But their caption is very
But yeah, like I said, I would buy Dragon Age, give it to Larian. Because that's like the type of game they would love to work with. Or like they could like actually do good stuff with. Onimusha? Oh my gosh, there's so many companies that would do so good with that, and I would trust. I'd probably give it to an indie studio though. And you wanna know what I'd want from Onimusha besides being in the credits or something? I'd ask for one other thing. They remake Dawn of Dreams for the PC. That's it. Report all the old ones to the PC and make them like playable. Because I'd make so much money. Consumed, what a stretch. Thank you.
It says if we never get another Dragon Age, at least it got to go out on a high note with...
What's like again? Stop being snide.
Dragon Age, the
Let's
Veilguard.
check.
So
And
it's very
what?
strange. They're giving a 9 rating to a game that they're also implying might kill the franchise.
That's literally what they're doing.
For example...
Like, how could you even say it's going to be the last one if it's so good? It would make tons of money, so it would get a sequel.
Kotaku, here's what they find important. In Dragon Age the Veilguard, the dialogue option lets you declare your character is trans, and you'll see a lot of that. And this one is really, this is the chef's kiss right here. So this is a Metacritic approved review from Checkpoint Gaming, who gave this game a 100, a perfect score, and they focus most of the review on inclusive adventuring, saying that they have options across the board to be gay AF, like they are in real life, according to this reviewer. And one of the positives mentioned about this game is inclusive. It's very inclusive and very thoughtful.
Like, what I don't understand is if the entire part of the selling point of one of the entire selling points of your game is I can declare my sexuality. You've missed something.
And wonderful
Not
ways.
even about
Also,
that.
they say it's
And
a
they're in
testament
like
to
medieval ages where that wouldn't even be a
diversity
thing.
and inclusivity. I know that is a very important function of a
But
game.
they don't realize
to
they're in like a
anyone who's
medieval
looking
time
at
period.
a potential game to buy. They want to know
Most
how
of these people would
diverse
be
and
slaughtered.
inclusive it is. Yeah, I think you get the point. There is a huge focus on
I
diversity.
don't even think it's bullies at this point, Lucy. It's
and
people
not
that
long ago,
don't
there was
care about
some
games,
rumors
that
coming
care about
out
other
where
things,
some insiders were
and wanna
claiming that this
push
was
their
going to be
ideas
the wokest game ever.
and use
they were
our
called
stuff
conspiracy
to push their
theorists,
ideas.
And it turns out another conspiracy theory is a chud fact, okay? This game is extremely woke, all right? I mean, this is some official dialogue from the game. So right here, they're saying that basically the people of the town don't feel comfortable in their own skin as a man and as a woman. And also, I mean, let's be real, we're seeing the finalized designs here, and I don't think any of them would feel comfortable in their own skin if they were designed in such a fashion, but there is some incredible dialogue here. So this was also another rumor that the companion in the game was going to be non-binary, and that is now confirmed as well, where this official dialogue says this: non-binary, I just said, and I'm going to use they instead of she from now on. Stunning and brave, but that's a big focus of this game, identity. So this is a real function of the game, establishes transgender identity and unlocks new dialogue options in future conversations. So basically this is a milestone and its reward in the game to establish transgender identity, and that again is a big theme. So here is the main protagonist, Rook, and some dialogue and options you're given, saying take a good long hard look at this. So it asks that whole dialogue about establishing transgender identity, and here's the dialogue options you're given. I'm getting there. I love who I am. Feels good to see the real me. And then down here, same thing, but the options are different once again, where it says scars are lessons learned. My scars are badges of honor. These scars are sexy, and based on the fact that the in-game character creation process allows you to have surgery scars from transitioning, I'm assuming that's what they're referring to here. And yeah, this is woke on steroids, ladies and gentlemen. And I'd show you more examples, but apparently, according to some, BioWare is doing a DMCA takedown of people sharing videos or pictures.
You know what's crazy about this? This one right here? I like to call people that hate these games Nazis. Or bigots and stuff. Like, bad words, basically. This is literally what the Nazis did. Like, hiding and obscuring, like, facts. Or, like, criticisms. Like, making it where no criticisms are allowed. Criticisms are allowed. You just want to, like, an echo chamber? You don't see what's wrong with that. Hello?
Criticizing this game. Now, I can confirm this at least a little bit on my end because I had bookmarked at least
Which, the other fact, YouTube, you supporting this by allowing them to DMCA when it's clear use, like, freedom of use content makes you worse. Like, this is basically YouTube, you are the scalpers that said that we are good people when they took little kids' PlayStations and sold them for abnormal prices. That's who you are. You're the bad guy that claims they're the good guy and everyone knows they're the bad guy. Like, I don't see where you want to go with this. Because, like, hello? Like, the same thing with Twitter. Twitter's not going to be a... Like, it may still be a thing for a bit, but, like, crap tons of people went over to Blue Sky and are still on Blue Sky. What people don't understand, like, they're like, Blue Sky will basically just... No. Here's the thing. On Twitter, he's getting permission for all your art. He's getting legal permission. What you don't understand is, for any other, like, bot or something that uses it, if you want to, you can go out and tell them to stop using your content. And if they don't listen, you can sue them. Or you can, like, DMCA them. Because they're using your, like, that's your art. Whereas Twitter is making it where you can't do that. Because if you post your art on Twitter, it's his now. It's not yours anymore. I'm sorry. You just gave him the right to have it. Because there's little lines in the writing now in the TOS, which I'm never posting art on there ever again. If you want to see the new art that we get and stuff, you're gonna have to go to Blue Sky. But yeah, like, no. But yeah, like I was saying, This is literal Nazi. Like, you're being a... You're being what you try to call other people.
This game, mainly to show not only the terrible writing of the dialogue, but also the terrible delivery of lines from the voice actors. And I can confirm, when I checked my bookmarks a few hours later, all of those examples were gone, presumably because they were taken down by BioWare. But despite the media trying to boost this game and its image, there are plenty of reviews from YouTubers and other content creators like Skill Up here that are eviscerating this game.
And here's the thing. The only reason there's these few ones up is because they're from huge YouTubers. My video might actually get struck. I'm gonna be honest. When it comes up, they'll be like, oh no, someone bashing our game! And they have small following. Like, that's why I appreciate some of the really big YouTubers and VTubers that, like, they're not afraid to be like, no. Because if we didn't have them, we'd be screwed.
In particular, they are going after the writing and the storytelling, which used to be a very heavy focus and strength of this franchise, but in this game, it is laughably bad, and I want to play
Poke the bashed. Shut up.
little segment of this review because it is brutal.
The writing is frankly terminal. It lacks any nuance or wit or wisdom. It cannot communicate ideas except to say them aloud to the camera. It manufactures petty, unbelievable tension because it doesn't know how to create anything more real, and it's too scared to ever be truly confronting or dark for fear that it might make the audience uncomfortable. Every interaction between the companions feels like HR is in the room, and every interaction led by the main character, Rook, sounds like he's addressing an under-12 soccer team before a semi-final, or teaching toddlers how to properly share toys. You build relationships with your companions is so woefully outdated. Drawn-out quest lines completely divorced from the main plot, starring disposable villains and recycling the same settings, enemies, and bosses you find elsewhere.
So you get the point. That line about the dialogue of the characters sounding like they were written while HR was in the room.
I think a lot of YouTubers and VTubers have said this before. And a lot of, like, people advocate for, like, games and stuff have said this. A game written for everyone is written for no one. Like, you've sanded it down to nothing. There's nothing there to, like, people to latch onto. I can't latch onto this story because it's so generic, so dumb, so, like, unintelligent.
Is something very telling. I mean, that...
I will say, I kind of agree with chat here. Indie games have become the new standard. I can't justify spending more than $40 for any game that has any of this in it anymore. Because I know if it has this in it, it put it there for a reason. It put it there for money. It put it there because it's not confident enough in its own story. And then people will bring something like Baldur's Gate to my attention. Here's the problem with that comparison. I trust Larian because they have never once, like, gone down that road. If they go down that road once, all trust will be lost at this point. But they haven't. So if they have some of that in there, there's a reason for it. And it makes sense kind of for Baldur's Gate because make your character truly who you want it to be. So I'm okay with that stuff in there. You want your character to have she pronouns with a male body and stuff? Go ahead. That's your character. You created it. You embody that character. There is a legitimate reason for it to be in there. Like, with Starfield, it didn't really make sense because it's space
Give me
age.
your scales, Boka.
No, you can't have them. It didn't really make sense because on the basis of this is the future. Like, people would not be able to do, like, there's so many different races and so many different, like, cultures and stuff. This is galaxies, for crying out loud. And multiple planets. You would call people by what you saw. This is one, like, we're on one planet, so there's a little bit of, like, I could kind of see your... But still, you don't go to another state, like, another country, go up to a girl and say, hello, sir. I'm sorry. Even as an advocate for all this stuff, you don't do that. That is not your first thought. You don't know if they identify as something. And that your first question is not be, I'm sorry, what do you identify as? No. You're gonna naturally come up to them and say, like, may I get directions? Or, how are you today? Or something. That is your first thought. If they would like to, like, slide in, like, a slight information to give you an idea what way they lean and stuff, sure. But what people aren't understanding with this, like, mentality and stuff is, I don't think it's long for this world. Yes, you could be any gender you want and stuff, but you need to make it clear. Your voice needs to emphasize it. Because, like, no other country's doing it, for one. And two, there's no real way. Like, you're not making it easy. And then you're getting mad when people get it wrong. Watching Solitaire? Okay.
Is kind of the whole focus of what people are worried about. And that's a woke ideology in this game. And that is a pretty good summation that relates to those concerns. But there is some other reviews that are making the rounds, including this one from an individual named Natalia, who you can see this translated from Spanish leaves a whole list of criticisms.
And there you have it. Another ethnicity. She's Mexican. She's another race. She totally backs all these ideas that we've had. Terrible graphics, boring and monotonous combat. Game doesn't run at constant FPS. Noticeable AI content. Very linear. False free will.
Including
apparently she
terrible
doesn't.
graphics, boring and monotonous
Apparently she
combat.
does support your
The
idea.
game doesn't run constantly at 30 FPS. Many of the dialogue options are noticeably made with AI. The whole thing is very linear. The options lead nowhere in terms of the gameplay. The creator of characters focused on trans and the LGBT community. There's inclusive language, on and on and on. And eventually they would provide this quote saying, "This game will be the tombstone of BioWare."
And you know what's crazy? She's a woman. She's a woman and she's Mexican. She's literally what they're trying to throw in your face that this is what these people want. Apparently not. Or she's like she must be a white person in disguise. A white male. I bet you anything that's what some of them are thinking. But no, you've made crap. They've told you you've made crap. Live with it.
Be a pretty famous quote people are using to describe this game. And given everything that's going on, the disconnect between player and YouTuber
emotional, damn.
Media, there is some speculation out there that the review codes for this game
I know, right,
have been
Rishna?
heavily
I am too.
curated.
Don't like it.
So basically what BioWare and EA is doing
It's so dumb looking. Look at that. Looks like he has a blockhead. Look at him. Is this a female? Is this supposed to be a female character? Oh my god. Oh my god.
they are trying
Handsome
to make
Squidward.
sure
I know,
that
right?
people who have access to these review codes
I'm feeling the one
they're
I
going
high
to
look
leave
at.
a positive review. That's why they're only giving it out very selectively and it's becoming extremely obvious. Now, a lot of these concerns began with this tweet from Wolfheart FPS here saying, "3 creators, myself included, were a bit more critical than others with our hand."
And companies doing this needs to freaking stop. You're the reason no one trusts all positive reviews now. That's why more and more people are not pre-ordering your game, because you did this. You wouldn't allow any naysayers. God bless his soul. If Total Biscuit was here, you'd all be roasted to oblivion. Do I wish I had the wordsmithing power of him? Yes. Because I would love to just drag you through the mud like he used to do to these companies. Because you need a good mud dragging. Just because a little bit of negative publicity and you won't give them a copy? How are they supposed to form a different opinion? Unless you know that's what their opinion is still going to be. It's all reviewers. All the reviewers are under the same company now, Rushina. You shouldn't listen to any of them unless they are way below those people. If they're from an unknown company or something, they have a little bit more credence to me. It's actually better that you're lesser known now to me, because it means you have no reason to lie. Alright, in like 5-6 minutes, I'm going to go to eat, and then I'll be back. But let's finish this up.
On time with Dragon Age the Veilguard. Not a single one of us will be getting a review code with time to actually give opinions before release. Just thought I would throw that out there. Now, these concerns would be addressed by Fextra Life here, who would really go in on this after learning themselves that they're not getting a review code, despite being a very influential channel when it comes to games like Dragon Age.
And like snubbing a gaming company like a game review site like Fextra Life. Like, how obvious do you want to get?
This is also someone who spoke very positively about the franchise in the past, and in their...
Yeah. Like, Dragon Age Inquisitions, I think, got praise from them. Even though, like, a hardcore Dragon Age fan trashed it. AKA me. It's still trash to me, because you lied about a lot of the stuff you were going to do, and you gave me less content for what I paid for.
Their critique of a preview they saw recently, they simply said the game has a lesser strength in terms of its storytelling, and that strength is instead focusing more on the combat, which is a flip-flop of how the franchise has traditionally been.
They didn't even really bash it, and you're not giving them a review copy?
That was the criticism, which is somewhat of a positive note.
That's
right?
it's like lukewarm at best. It's not negative.
Right?
I mean,
But
lukewarm at worst.
Enough for him to lose any chance of getting a review code, and let's listen to what he has to
Hey,
say.
combat.
And you might have also seen Wolfhard's
I think we
tweets
wanna
about
play-
this topic on Twitter or X.
Let me finish this, and I'll tell
and
you.
Luke Stevens' video about this topic as well. Both of those individuals were with us in California for the preview event, and both of them put out preview videos as well as ours. And I think between the three of us, we probably have some of the 3 most viewed videos on this topic, or at least most commented on, I would say. And if you read those tweets and you watch that video, you can tell clearly that they also feel some way that they were intentionally excluded by EA from review access for some unknown reason, likely because of critical comments they made in their preview video.
So basically, like he says, it seems that their mild criticisms of this game based on the preview they saw, they have been barred from having these review codes, which is a clear move by EA and BioWare to limit the chances that there's going to be negative reviews of this game, and this is done to mislead you. Obviously, they want to create a narrative that this is a perfect game.
I love how
they're trying
to say it's gone gold. It
is
hasn't.
something that you should check out. I mean, they are literally painting
They'll
this
be
game
lucky if it
as
goes
a potential
bronze.
Game of the Year candidate, right? If you look at the way that these journalists are covering it, but
Well, that was the bare minimum, Rushina. For Inquisition, that was the bare minimum. Because the last game was kind of like, was basically that. If they changed that, they'd have gotten even more writers.
when you hear people who have actually played the game who are just regular gamers or YouTubers, they have a very different opinion, and I think those people are the ones who slip through the cracks, and the main
likelihood of being extremely positive in an attempt to manipulate your view of Dragon Age the Veilguard. They want you to think there is a universal consensus that the game is amazing, thereby convincing you that you should try it, but also influencing future review scores as it's difficult to be.
That's why I only trust YouTubers, and then I trust after I've looked at 3 other ones. And guess what? I trust these guys way more than I trust these lower channels. So you giving the lower channels review copies does nothing. It does 0 for me. It actually does negative. Because if I see a smaller content creators giving it positive, and then the bigger one giving it a negative, and then the smaller one gets a copy to review, guess what? I instantly agree with the top result. But if both got the review, I'd split my opinion again, and I'd look at both before I decide. Because the big guy's opinion could change. Because their integrity is a lot more there. They are expected to have integrity.
The outlier. If you've ever done a review for a game or for something, you'll realize that if you're the only one giving a high review
I have
score
excitement.
when everyone else
Xenoblade
is
Chronicles
giving a low
X has
review score, it's
finally
difficult.
been announced
Or
for
if you're the only
remaster
one
on
giving it a
Switch.
low review.
Okay, doctor. Games that I was excited for, I really want. Top 5 of my wish list actually are like Barking Zero, because I played the old version of it and loved it. I love, and like and Age of Mythology Retold, because like those are games that have heart in them. Those are games that were made.
Review score and everyone else is giving it a high review score. It's a very difficult position to be in. So if you
Yeah, I mean, there's saying, but there's definitely some added. Now, unfortunately, these people who were not given review codes, they came about this whole situation very wrong. Now, remember that Natalia person earlier in this video who was absolutely lambasting this game, right?
She got a copy just for saying she was non-binary. Guess what? I'm non-binary. Where's my review copy of these games? I probably messed up. I was already bashing them. I should have been quiet, guys. I gotta be sneaky. But yeah.
They actually
Right.
got a review code because they claimed they were non-binary. Extreme amount of positive reviews coming from traditional
And then
media
you
sources.
claiming, oh, we have tons of super positive reviews. Sorry, all the red flags have already been shown, so good job.